everyone, my name is Cora and today I just want to say goodbye to my favorite show. Steven Universe is over. I just finished watching the finale on my laptop just now. I don't know how I can begin to describe the effect that this show has had on me. I got into this show during around its 5th season. I knew that my sibling was already into it and watching it, and I did attempt to get through the first season, but I ended up dropping it after the first 10 episodes. But then I can't remember how or why I did pick it up again, and I just kept watching it through and I really enjoyed it, and it was just such a feel-good show. While the series was always like fun and interesting and hilarious, as it went on there were things that affected me more and more. I think one of the things was Peridot. Like, she's clearly very autism coded and she's also like asexual coded, but apparently she is confirmed aro-ace, and I think that does mean that she is fusion repulsed. But there were clues to that in the show to pick up on, and the fact that she's also autism coded and I'm an autistic asexual, Peridot is definitely one of my favorite characters. I love her so much. Even though she and I are so different in a lot of ways, it's like I'm seeing a part of myself that I usually don't see being represented on screen. And obviously Steven Universe has done that a lot. They've been able to include a lot of very revolutionary representation, and they've included it in a way where it just seems like normal. It's good to watch a show where I can see people I know who aren't often represented being represented. And of course, when it comes to talking about queer or LGBTQIA+ representation, I have to talk about Garnet's wedding. Back in like 2017, I believe, for some reason LNP decided that instead of just making marriage equality a thing, they would rather spend millions, possibly billions of dollars on a postal vote to every single Australian who had the right to vote, and like ask them, do you think marriage equality should be a thing? If an overwhelming majority of Australia voted yes, then it would look bad if the politicians decided not to go through with it and legalize marriage equality. I attended rallies, I handed out the badges, I was calling people, I was sliding into everyone's DMs on Facebook and asking them, hey, have you applied to vote yet? I was always too shy to admit it, but I did play a role in that victory. I did play a small role. Seeing Ruby and Sapphire get married in the show Steven Universe was significant to me for that reason, because I like to think that the normalization and legalization of marriage equality around the world helped Rebecca Sugar make her case to have that wedding happen in the show. Most recently though, I think it's definitely Steven Universe Future that is changing my life. I think I've been a bit open in previous videos and online that I haven't exactly been in the best state mentally. I'm in a very in-between stage of my life, and now this pandemic is kind of extending that in-between stage a little bit, and things are just so uncertain. I'm still trying to figure myself out and figure out what to do with my life and forge a path towards independence. Seeing Steven going through those same struggles, it was very impactful for me. She always likes to come when I'm upset. I was seeing my problems being projected onto the screen in Steven Universe, and it was giving me a new perspective on what I was going through. I like to describe my therapy sessions as so on Steven Universe because that's basically what it is right now. The episode Growing Pains actually made me have a whole new perspective on some of the not so great things that has happened to me. Things that I always thought were just not a part of my life anymore apparently still affect me deeply to this day. Turns out you can get trauma from things that don't actually seem all that traumatic. And I did not realize that until Growing Pains. I love this show so much. And now that I've watched the finale, I was afraid that they were going to go with the ending that he leaves Beach City, because for some reason I thought it was just going to be like a thing where he just leaves his support system behind, and I wasn't too keen on that idea. I'm glad with the ending that they went with, where he is leaving Beach City in order to find himself, but he's not necessarily leaving his support system. He's doing therapy now, and he's doing it via video call, which was something I'm gonna start doing because of the pandemic. If you don't end up discovering anything about yourself from watching Steven Universe or Steven Universe Future, then you'll probably discover something about the people you know. If not, it's still a show that's fun escapism, because even though Steven Universe Future does get kind of dark at times, and even Steven Universe, the show itself, gets kind of dark at times, sometimes it's good to confront those dark and mature themes in a medium that feels as safe and comforting as a kids show. The problem with like adult media that maybe goes into like some of the same themes is it's trying to often be gritty and realistic and uncomfortable, but something about watching those mature themes in a kids show, it means I'm not as afraid to face them. It also represents hope in a way that isn't naive. It is okay to have hope. In fact, it is the mature thing to have hope. That's always like a thing when it comes to adult media. Sometimes it's kind of hopeless. Sometimes, yeah, things don't have a happy ending. Sometimes things end tragically, but I need stories that are inspiring, that tell me things will be okay and I can make it through even when things are difficult. And Steven Universe is just one such show for me that does that. Because if Steven can make it through his problems, I can make it through mine. And even though I'm sad to see this show end, I also feel like it ended at the right place. I'm just crying on camera, and then like this little person decides to like stick her little footsies in the air. Thank you, Steven Universe, for being here for me, for being something I can escape to when things aren't doing so great, for being something I could look forward to. Thank you for helping me understand myself and the people around me a little better. And thank you for validating the effort I put into things, even if I don't always recognize the significance of that effort I have put into things. I think that's all I pretty much have to say. Don't forget to subscribe. I promise the next video won't include any crying or spoilers. And I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye! I know this is not social distancing. Leave me alone.